Tonight, a coronavirus cluster at a Melbourne meatpacking plant. But the health minister insists our food is safe to eat. Victorians face the toughest lockdown laws in the nation, while other Australians hit the beach. Footy could be back in 6 weeks. Latest details live on the game's return. A constable's final sad journey under police escort to his hometown. Do these pictures prove North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is alive? And the race to save a family's Labrador trapped for hours down a wombat hole.
Live from Melbourne, 7 News with Mike Amor starts now.
Good evening. Health authorities are investigating a coronavirus cluster at a Melbourne meatpacking plant. 8 workers have tested positive and the factory shut for urgent cleaning. But the government insists our food is safe.
Of the state's 7 new cases overnight, 3 are associated with the Melbourne meatpacking facility. Overall, 8 cases have now been confirmed from the plant, but the government refuses to identify the cluster source.
Given that all the staff have been tested, the facility has been shut down now for thorough cleaning, there is no need for the facility to be named.
But claims of a lack of transparency because the government has identified clusters in aged care facilities, hospitals and a mental health clinic.
I don't see why this meatpacking facility should be treated any differently.
Because meatpackers work crammed together, the industry has been one of the biggest coronavirus clusters in America and Canada, with almost 5,000 cases recorded. But here, the minister insists there's no danger.
The advice that I've received is there's no concerns about food safety, so therefore there should be no broader concerns to the broader community.
Also today, something ambulance officials had been dreading. A Victorian paramedic tested positive to COVID-19 for the first time. It's unknown how the female officer was exposed. 5 colleagues have now self-isolated. Their union concerned about recent protective equipment protocol changes.
Where paramedics are asked to enter scenes without the full PPE in order to get to cardiac arrest patients quicker.
This diagnosis sent shockwaves through the service.
There's enormous anxiety and quite a lot of confusion out there at the moment. Paramedics are genuinely quite worried about this.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
The new cases will do little to help change the Premier's mind about easing restrictions in Victoria. Queenslanders were allowed to picnic and hit the beach, as our government revealed why we're going it alone with strict rules.
Around the country, a new feeling of freedom. But here, there's no backing down.
Have Victorians earned an early mark?
We'll make that assessment about what restrictions could potentially be eased on the 11th of May.
Queenslanders flocked to reopened beaches today. In Victoria, it was a different scene because, according to the Andrews government, the threat of coronavirus here is higher.
Victorians are going to look at people on the beaches in Queensland.
But Queensland has had, as I recall, I think 4% community transmission compared to Victoria's 10%.
Sydney residents have also been quick to reunite with friends and family after the New South Wales government relaxed the rules, despite 3,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19, double that of Victoria.
It'll be good to catch up with friends and family again. It's definitely been too long.
While lockdown remains likely until at least May 11, Chadstone has reopened almost 250 stores and already shoppers are lining up.
Mother's Day present next weekend, so doing the shopping this weekend.
Testing for the virus has also ramped up today, with 8 new mobile stations opening across the state, helping health workers conduct thousands of extra checks. Another returning traveller has tested positive to COVID-19. That's 53 since the government enforced 14-day hotel quarantine rules. Although there are concerns our most vulnerable are still missing out on tests.
There are still people in nursing homes, aged care facilities who aren't getting tested. We think that it's far more important to test those people than to test people in shopping centre car parks.
Christy Mayer, 7 News.
We've got developing news tonight that's set to excite footy fans. Tom Brown is at AFL headquarters with the very latest. And Tom, footy could be back within 6 weeks.
That's right, Mike. This was reinforced on a conference call between the AFL and club presidents and clubs this morning. Footy on track to return mid to late June. Training in groups of 10, Level B, groups of 10, as soon as the 11th of May. And hubs, which have caused so much angst this week between the players and the AFL, might not be needed at all. That's because Queensland offered to fly the NRL in and out and give them access. They've offered Queensland the same fly-in, fly-out access to the AFL formally this morning. If the other states follow, round 2 in structure could operate the same way as round 1, fly-in, fly-out. The Northern Territory even offering in the last 24 hours to restart footy with some spectators.
And I don't think anyone contemplated that. So it's you know, I think people have flagged it's unlikely, but when we've seen what's happened in Darwin, and you don't rule anything out.
Mike, to clarify, it's virtually certain we won't see more games in the Northern Territory. It might have been a good option when the AFL was extensively looking at hubs, but that's becoming more and more remote as we look beyond hubs at this stage. The AFL would like to finish the season ideally by the end of October. Gil McLaughlin's also moved to diffuse tension between the AFL and players. We'll have more on that in sport, Mike.
Tom Brown at AFL headquarters. Thank you. The Sydney aged care home at the centre of a deadly coronavirus cluster has confirmed more cases of the virus. 2 staff members at the New March facility tested positive today, prompting an investigation by New South Wales Health. Anglicare's CEO says they're negotiating with families to take loved ones out of the centre.
It's small numbers to date that we've had discussions, and this is something that we're going to raise with our residents in our communication shortly.
There have been 61 cases and 13 deaths linked to the nursing home. Scott Morrison's call for an independent inquiry into the origins of COVID-19 is slowly gaining traction overseas. Experts around the world believe the investigation is critical to avoid future pandemics, as China is accused of suppressing and even destroying evidence.
Rising, like the COVID death toll as it nears 250,000, demands for an inquiry into how the deadly pandemic first took hold.
I think this is for all of us important. I mean, for the whole world it is important.
The European Union's executive branch...
It's in all our own interest. I mean, this pandemic has caused so much damage.
...weighs in alongside Prime Minister Morrison's push for an investigation.
An entirely sensible suggestion.
...which has soured relations with trading giant China.
The primary purpose of doing that is to ensure that we understand the virus more, we understand the animal-human interface.
Sydney's Daily Telegraph claims a leaked dossier from unnamed Western governments makes the case against China's early handling of the pandemic. Vocal doctors apparently detained and condemned, virus samples allegedly moved or destroyed, social media and search engines censored. As well, questions over the time China took to warn the World Health Organization.
The Chinese assurances stopped the WHO from being as decisive and clear with the rest of the world.
Had the world been warned quickly?
It may even have been contained within Wuhan itself.
But others see the push for an inquiry now as an unseemly rush to judge China. Among them, philanthropist and mining billionaire Andrew Twiggy Forrest. He's hit back at those who accuse him of going out of his way to back Beijing.
I will crack on with helping my country, unapologetic to those who think racism or isolationism is a viable path for Australia.
Tim Lester, 7 News.
More than 4 million Australians have now registered for the government's COVID Safe tracking app. The number of downloads jumped by 600,000 in just 24 hours.
If people have been putting off downloading the app to the weekend when you've got more time, please do it today.
The government says a greater uptake of the app is one of 4 conditions that need to be reached before restrictions are eased. There's an urgent health alert tonight for Qantas flyers after a passenger on board a flight from Melbourne to Brisbane tested positive to COVID-19. Anyone travelling on the QF 614 last Wednesday is being urged to contact health authorities. The confirmed patient had been on a cruise ship. Hundreds of protesters have stormed a beachside suburb in Los Angeles, demanding the neighbourhood be reopened. Defying orders to stay home, they took aim at the Californian governor as more than 30 states lift restrictions this weekend.
Huntington Beach, California, mid-pandemic.
Open our economy! You're in the sunshine, you're in fresh air, you're healthier than wearing a mask.
Crowds spill onto the road, restless, infuriated over business and beach shutdowns.
Hopefully it won't get to the point where we need to put down the signs and flags and pick up weapons, but that's what we have the Second Amendment for.
Inside this blue state rally, we meet Trump loyalists.
Are you concerned by the health risks of gathering together in a large group out here today?
No, not really. No, it's the sunshine, that kills the virus, I think.
And skeptics.
My children are not at risk because they have an immune system.
Would you give your children a coronavirus vaccine?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not ever.
Now the federal government's social distancing guidelines have lapsed. State governments like California are under pressure to ease restrictions, all while cases keep growing. More than 30 states are lifting restrictions over the weekend, including Texas, where restaurants and retailers are operating at 25% capacity. While in Washington,
we're going to be having some really incredible results.
And old drugs offering new hope. Antiviral medication remdesivir given emergency approval to help COVID patients.
That has really seemed to be the key to him coming around.
Early results suggest patients who took the drug improved 31% faster than those taking a placebo. In Los Angeles, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
North Korea's state-run media has published new photos of Kim Jong-un, claiming it's proof he's alive and well. The Supreme Leader was reportedly opening a fertiliser plant, the first time he's been seen in more than 20 days. There have been speculation he was gravely ill or even dead after missing a celebration of his late grandfather. Donald Trump says he might speak to the leader this weekend.
Yeah, I'd rather not comment on it yet. Kim Jong-un will have something to say about it at the appropriate time.
Monitoring groups believe the photos are real. Police in 2 states have saluted a convoy taking a fallen policeman back to his hometown. The body of Constable Glenn Humphreys, one of the 4 killed in the Eastern Freeway tragedy, is being driven to Newcastle in a long and symbolic journey.
2 of the most senior police in the nation honouring the sacrifice made by one of the least experienced, Constable Glenn Humphreys. Chief Commissioner Graham Ashton handed New South Wales Deputy Jeff Loy a Victoria Police hat and an Australian flag. The sombre ceremony marked the heartbreaking homecoming of New South Wales raised Constable Humphreys. It also highlighted the shared grief felt well beyond Victoria's boundaries.
The police, we feel the pain. And they want to show their respect to a young officer that was taken really out of the time that he should have had.
The body of Glenn Humphreys was escorted north with full honours.
Hold out.
On their own initiative, Victoria police officers from several towns turned out to salute the procession.
At practically every juncture there were officers lining the freeway, saluting as the hearse went past. And so I've never seen that before.
For the second day in a row, the family and partner of Glenn Humphreys honoured their loved one. Less formal than his funeral, but just as moving. On social media, Victoria Police acknowledged the support shown across the nation. Constable Humphreys' body is being taken to his hometown of Newcastle, a 1,000-kilometre journey to share the pride and pain in police service. Cameron Bowe, 7 News.
A man's died after a crash in Werribee this morning. It's believed the 31-year-old lost control of a Daewoo, crashing into a car coming from the other direction. The second driver suffered minor injuries. Police want to hear from witnesses who saw the Daewoo before the crash or captured it on dash cam. A woman was trapped in her car last night after crashing into a pole at Wanturna South. Paramedics worked on the driver as firefighters cut her from the wreckage around 9 last night. The woman, believed to be in her 20s, was finally released and taken to hospital. She's being treated for serious injuries. An adventurous Labrador has been rescued after giving his family an almighty scare last night. Blackie was found trapped down a wombat hole, sparking a massive effort to save him.
Overcome with relief.
Good boy, Blackie. Thank you, guys. God bless you. You saved our dog.
Trapped for 3 hours, Blackie was reunited with his family.
Never lose hope, and I'm so grateful for the endurance and the stamina.
The 5-year-old Labrador became stuck down a wombat hole around 200 metres away from his family's home.
He's down there on the side of a very steep hill and about 4 metres in.
More than a dozen firefighters dug in the dark through waist-deep mud, trying to reach him. His family was worried the hole would collapse and feared Blackie wouldn't make it out alive.
As the mud was coming out, we just kept levelling the area so we had somewhere to stand.
A lasso made from pipe, some duct tape and rope finally saved him.
They put that in his head and then encouraged him to come out and pulled him out with this.
The conditions last night were quite similar to this. It was raining and around 5 degrees, but Blackie's rescuers never gave up.
You're heroes.
You're heroes.
Thank you, you're heroes. Heroes. Thank you for saving our dog.
Melina Saris, 7 News.
Like the
Lucky
bark at the end, yeah.
Jackie Felgate is here with a look ahead to sport. And Jackie, the AFL boss has said sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mike. Gillon McLachlan has apologised to the players. We'll tell you why in a live report coming up. Also, an exclusive interview with our 2 cricket captains on the year ahead for the Aussies. How a surprise knock at the door helped an Olympic gold medalist stay in the fast lane. And the legendary heavyweight boxer still packing a punch. That is a little scary. I'll have plenty more coming up.
It is scary. Thanks, Jack. Up next, a shopping centre stabbing rampage. The moment shoppers and workers run for their lives. Plus, why the driver of this car has launched a fundraising campaign. How to enjoy the high country's best food and wine without leaving the couch. And coming up later, your guide to managing stress levels in isolation.
You slept with my brother. You covered it up for 20-odd years. And my daughter might be his. You'll always be my daughter, no matter what.
What if he's not my dad?
Home and Away, next week at 7 on 7.
Thank you, Victoria.
For keeping your distance.
And keeping your cool.
For facing this with courage.
And talking face to face every day.
For telling your workmates you're on mute.
And your neighbours, you're there for them.
Thanks for staying in and helping out.
Because it's working.
But we can't stop now. There's still a way to go.
And staying apart
keeps us together.
To find out how you can help keep us together, visit vic.gov.au/coronavirus. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Ready for any challenge. Battery power. Made by Still. Only from your local Still dealer.
Because sometimes it's more than just growing pains. Bupa offers an online program to help you manage your mental well-being. Bupa, because life happens. Call today.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now. Save on a great range of quality furniture for a limited time. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now.
While we're all apart, it's good to remember that something as simple as g'day
Oh, g'day! G'day!
G'day, matey. G'day, babe. How are you?
can make the world of difference.
You really learn in times like this what you take for granted.
It lets those you care about know they're not alone.
Wilson!
We are part of this group. We are all in this together.
Hang in there, my love.
So whether it's your oldest mate, a work friend, your granddad, mum, or cousin twice removed. Keep in touch.
Say g'day. You'll feel better for it, and I promise you they will. Give it a go, eh?
What he said. Let's keep connected, Australia.
Infused oil deluxe crisps from Red Rock Deli.
Cookie people, cream people, crumbs people, clean people, twist people, lick people, dunk people, munch people. It's on the play, people. If you twist, lick, dunk, then you're my people. We are Oreo people.
A driver is seeking public donations to buy a new car after she endured a terrifying trip on the Western Ring Road yesterday. Kelly Bubeck's car was pushed for nearly a kilometre as frantic witnesses tried to alert the truck driver, who seemed unaware. Police say nobody will be charged over the accident, which happened in bad weather. Miss Bubeck says her car was a write-off. She has created a GoFundMe page seeking donations for a replacement. We've got pictures tonight of the frightening final moments of a stabbing rampage in a Western Australian shopping centre. Panicked shoppers took cover as shots rang out when the man armed with a knife was confronted by police. And a warning, this story contains carefully edited but confronting images.
He's stabbed 7 people.
Guys, get
He's been tasered twice.
Come in the back, come in the back. Come in.
An officer is down, but he's still up, still moving. And this woman is next.
Just come in. No, don't worry about your shop. Your shop's not worth it.
The first bullet doesn't stop him.
Come in.
Neither does the second. One last shot. Sprawled on a shopping centre floor, the rampage ends here. So does the life of the man behind the blade.
He was in full speed, full steam ahead. Like he just didn't care. He had a knife in his hand. He was just running. Yeah, just crazy, just like running possessed.
Eerily, witnesses say the man wielding the knife never uttered a word.
He had a knife. Holy hell.
The rampage began here at the Lodge Motel. His first victim, a female guest. He stabbed her. She fled, fearing for her life. 5 people injured in the attack have now been discharged from hospital. 1 victim remains in a critical condition. In South Headland, Joey Catanzaro, 7 News.
A new report has identified the Melbourne suburbs hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic through job losses and financial stress. People living in Carlton, the city and Clayton are believed to be the most vulnerable, as well as residents in outer suburbs of Wallet, Dandenong and Roxburgh Park. The study shows tenants and homeowners in these areas are subject to more mortgage and rental stress because of rising unemployment. Tourism in regional Victoria is struggling through one of the toughest years on record, with the bushfire crisis and COVID-19 keeping people away. But small businesses in towns like Bright are finding ways to make it through to the other side.
Autumn is usually one of the high country's busiest times of year, attracting thousands of visitors. But with summer bushfires and COVID-19 crippling regional towns, hard-hit small businesses have found new ways to survive.
We've lost all of our wholesale.
It's just absolutely devastating.
Businesses are now being given an online lifeline. Would-be tourists can virtually escape through High Country at Home. The platform is showcasing what the region has to offer through interactive experiences and classes.
Get their group of friends together. They book a ticket online for an online experience such as gnocchi making, and then they're sent a produce pack in the post.
Almost 100 employers in the northeast have already signed up, keeping small towns alive until the time comes we're allowed to visit again.
We would love to see people again, obviously. And Bright is a beautiful town.
Sarah Jones, 7 News.
Melina Saris joins us now for an early look at the weather. And Mel, the showers are starting to ease, thankfully.
They are, Mike, but it is still pretty chilly out there. The city started on 9.5 this morning and only got to 14 this afternoon. It was cool around the suburbs as well, mostly 14 degrees over in the west at Geelong and Werribee. The east was a little cooler, 12 degrees at Scoresby, 11 at Cranbourne. And once again, those showers were concentrated over the eastern suburbs. They persisted throughout the day, and some western suburbs didn't have any at all, but Mount Dandenong has had 10 millimetres since 9 a.m, Yarra Glen with 4 and Scoresby with 5 millimetres. The Bureau is still monitoring a few catchments with minor flooding. Some of these areas in the east can expect a further 10 millimetres tomorrow. We will finally dry out and thaw out by Tuesday. I'll have those details after sport, Mike.
Thaw out is right. It's been cold. Thanks, Mel. Just ahead, the plan to get Victorians back into pubs. New details tonight on when and how our bars and clubs could reopen. Plus, Donald Trump's presidential rival forced to deny bombshell allegations. The art of lockdown, inspiring tributes for our healthcare workers. And a princess growing up fast. New photos of birthday girl Charlotte.
Next on 7 Flicks, the unforgettable Finding Dory.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now. Save on a great range of quality furniture for a limited time. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now.
It's horrible.
Shut up and take my money.
Right now, lives like Eva's still depend on regular blood donations. To her, they'll always be an essential service, which is why Lifeblood donor centres are safe and still open. If you're feeling well, book a donation today.
The MS Dream Home Lottery is already over 50% sold. Because how many can win a $1.5 million grand prize? Don't care. That's right. Hurry and get your tickets today.
Who could have known that the smallest changes could make the biggest impact? You did, and so did we. That's why Hills always starts with a pet's biology, so you're always a step ahead.
Great news, Australia. Coles Online is back and now available to all customers. To serve you better, we've recruited hundreds of new team members, which means we now have our biggest online capacity ever. In just 5 simple steps, you can shop your favourite groceries and have them delivered straight to your door.
It really is easy.
Or click and collect and choose contactless delivery straight to the boot of your car. Shop Coles online at coles.com.au/shop for delivery or click and collect today. Good things, great value.
During the Nick Scali Autumn Sale, the 100% leather ruler 3-seater with chaise is now $29.90. Save $2,000. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now. Hurry.
The series that defined a generation is back.
Back the world, Joey. I'm a teenager.
Binge season after season.
I don't want to lose you.
Things change, Dawson.
Dawson's Creek, streaming for free on 7+.
A task force is working on a plan to get Victorians back into pubs in July. The hospitality industry has been devastated by the lockdown, and owners are working around the clock to get bars and clubs ready for business again.
Steve Schroeder is like thousands of publicans across the country. His business is on life support.
Gone from everything to zero, so it doesn't get much tougher.
But under a government-led task force, pubs and clubs could reopen as early as July and operate more like cafes.
Oh, early's great. I mean, as soon as they can and as soon as it's safe to do so, it'd be fantastic.
Strict operating rules would need to be enforced, such as table service instead of queuing at the bar, reduced dining room capacity, and switching every second poker machine off to keep gamblers at least 1.5 metres apart.
Having some line of sight again on a reopening will really help the industry to be able to plan and see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Temperature testing patrons as they arrive could also become mandatory.
We'd adapt to that, and there's some new systems where you can order at the table and dispense to the table, so cashless transactions.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison says National Cabinet will review all restrictions, including pubs and clubs, on Friday.
All of those decisions will be guided by the advice of the Chief Health Officer.
CUB, the biggest brewery in Australia, is doing its best to keep struggling pubs afloat during the pandemic with a Pay It Forward campaign called Love of Your Local.
So if you buy one today, that cash goes immediately to the pub, and then when they reopen, you go in and you get that pint that you bought, and CUB will match it with a second one for free.
Tom Chadwick, 7 News.
American presidential hopeful Joe Biden has been forced to publicly deny sexual assault allegations. The Democrat says the alleged assault 3 decades ago never happened. Tonight, he's getting rare support from his rival, Donald Trump.
Questioned publicly for the first time.
Did you sexually assault Tara Reid?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened.
Tara Reid once worked for Joe Biden. She says in 1993 he held her against a wall in a Senate corridor and sexually assaulted her. Speaking out after another woman accused the former VP of unwanted but not sexual touching.
Do you remember any types of complaints that she might have made?
I don't remember any type of complaint she may have made. It was 27 years ago.
Reid says at the time she filed a complaint of sexual harassment but not assault with the Senate. No record has been found. Biden today formally asked the Senate to look again, while standing by former comments that women who complain of sexual assault should be believed.
I'll always uphold that principle. But in the end, in every case, the truth is what matters.
Personally, the president is sympathetic to his opponent.
I've been accused. You probably have too. As soon as you're famous, you get accused.
Lawyers who vetted Biden when he ran alongside Barack Obama say they found nothing on him. Angela Cox, 7 News.
Meghan Markle has lost round 1 of her fight against the tabloids. London's High Court has struck out parts of her case. The Duchess is suing the Mail on Sunday, claiming the publication of a letter to her father breached privacy and copyright. But a judge threw out the claims that the paper had an agenda against her and that it acted dishonestly by leaving out parts of the letter. On a happier royal note, these are new images of Princess Charlotte to celebrate her 5th birthday this weekend. The pictures were taken by Mum Kate. The young royal was on the Sandringham estate, where the family helped to pack and deliver food packages for isolated pensioners. Charlotte is 4th in line to the British throne. Street artists are creating powerful, poignant and sometimes political messages about the pandemic. In London, they're taking inspiration from healthcare heroes to express their gratitude during the lockdown.
David Speed says the feeling was like being handcuffed, stuck at home, helpless, as a health crisis unfolded.
My mum called me and she was like, when are you going to paint something for the NHS? And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea.
But Mum persisted, so David set up a fence and created this. The next day, he received a message from a nurse who'd walked past on her way to work.
She said as soon as she saw it, she kind of burst into tears, and just getting that one DM made the whole painting worth it. So I'm glad I did listen to my mum.
COVID-19 has emptied city streets globally, creating the ultimate canvas. From central London to LA, images depicting our admiration and thanks, our anxieties and behaviours. There's political messages and some designed just to give people a laugh.
It's literally the maddest thing I've ever heard anyone say, ever. I was like, that's got to be done. Someone's got to do that. I just thought, yeah, drinking a pint of bleach.
Dave Nash says he couldn't resist the opportunity. The US president, now in his backyard, a tribute to health workers out the front.
Just put a smile on someone's face for a little while.
Like millions of people across so many industries, many artists have lost the majority of their income, but they know these days will pass, and what they do have for now is the time to be creative.
It's the maddest year of my life so far, isn't it? Yeah, what's going to happen next? Godzilla or something? You can't predict it now.
But they can paint it. In London, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
Up next, the race to save a man pinned under a car. See the strength of people power when lives are at stake. Plus, lockdown divorce rates are skyrocketing, but there's help at hand. A tornado with a twist. We'll explain this unusual sight. And after sport, the tips you need to keep control of stress levels in lockdown.
Very occasionally, someone comes onto the stage and you think, they are born to be a superstar.
Took a job in the city.
Her voice will have the entire audience on their feet.
Absolutely brilliant.
The truly unforgettable performance.
Incredible.
We're celebrating the extraordinary.
This is what the world has been waiting for.
Brand new, Britain's Got Talent. Wednesday, 7:30 on 7.
An important message from the Victorian Government about coronavirus. To help us make informed decisions about restrictions, testing has been widened. If you think you have coronavirus because you're showing mild flu-like symptoms, you have a sore throat or a runny nose, or if you have a cough or a cold, get tested. Help slow the spread. Save lives. Victorian Government, managing this together.
Harvey Norman has everything you need for your home. Come into our spacious stores and create an in-home cinema experience with the Whitehaven 3-seater fabric sofa, boasting powered reclining actions, a built-in e-station and storage console. Just $19.99. The Bradford offers sophisticated style with powered recliners, overhead reading and base lights and charging station. $21.99. Spruce up your dining with the Cobar 7-piece suite. Great value at just $9.99. Everything you need for your home in-store now at Harvey Norman.
At E&S, we have massive savings on Bosch, like up to $300 cash back on selected ovens and cooktops, as well as $100 cash back on selected dishwashers, and that's on top of the low E&S price. All 9 E&S showrooms have extensive displays, and our staff are Bosch experts. So visit a showroom today, give us a call, or shop online at ens.com.au. Get the E&S feeling with Bosch.
The COVID-19 crisis brings unprecedented internet traffic over the NBN network. To help support Australia during this time, we currently offer internet providers up to 40% increased network capacity. Our technicians remain on the ground wherever they're needed. And we're sharing updated tips to help you get more from your home setup. To find out more, visit nbn.com.au/response.
Busy kids have energy to burn. If you want to be sure they're getting the nutrients they need to grow and thrive, shake it up with Pediasure. A delicious Pediasure health shake contains 28 essential vitamins and minerals, plus protein, pre and probiotic and omega-3, which may help support growth, immunity and a healthy appetite. Make it, shake it, love it. Kids thrive with Pediasure.
People power was on full display in Perth when strangers worked together to lift a car off an injured pedestrian. Horrified bystanders rushed to help. Using all their strength, they managed to free the injured man, aged in his 40s. He's now in a stable condition in hospital. The driver suffered shock. His wife and children were in the car when it happened. Married couples are facing a perfect storm of stress under lockdown. As experts warn, divorce rates will skyrocket. For those who are going through a breakup, a new online service could save you time, money and heartache.
Emma Johnson is newly divorced and slowly adjusting to single life.
It's quite a stressful process. You're obviously grieving a marriage that's disintegrating.
Coronavirus lockdown, financial strain and job losses are taking a heavy toll on relationships.
It's been staggering. We've had about a 700% increase in people accessing all of our free resources.
Family law barrister Jack Whelan believes mediation is the best way to finalise a marriage. His new online service is called the Separation Guide. It uses a team of experts, including lawyers, psychologists and accountants, to settle divorces and separations in around 10 weeks.
The cost can be less than $10,000.
When warring couples end up in court, it can cost anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000 in legal fees, and the process can take years.
A lot of people are taking the time that they now have to research this, and then others are taking the next step and actually deciding, let's get this done, and let's get it done online.
Divorce lawyers in China, the US and UK have reported a 25% spike in inquiries, and sadly the same is expected here.
Everyone's trapped in their houses. It's either going to create babies or divorces, isn't it?
Jackie Quist, 7 News.
To some incredible pictures now of tumbleweeds swept up in what's being dubbed a tumbleweed NATO. An American journalist came across the unique dust devil on a Washington highway, filming as it swept over him. Virgin Galactic is a step closer to commercial space travel with its first test flight over the New Mexico desert. The spacecraft will carry 6 passengers. More than 600 people around the world have already paid a deposit for space flights, with tickets expected to cost around $380,000. The first passenger flight could happen later this year. A Wanturna man has enjoyed a musical surprise for his 100th birthday. Alf Nee is a popular resident at his retirement village. He's lived there for 32 years.
I'm thankful every day what I've been able to do. I've had a wonderful life.
A birthday card from the Queen was among the many received by Alf, whose secret tonic is cider, vinegar and honey. Happy birthday to Alf. Sport now with Jackie Felgate and Jack. The AFL has shared plans for the grand final.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mike. Gillon McLachlan has an end in sight. That's next, plus his apology to the players. Also, the secret to success in an exclusive interview with both Australian captains. Superstar jockey Hugh Bowman dominates on the track. How Olympic champion Kate Campbell is staying in the fast lane. And Mike Tyson winds back the clock, packing a fierce punch.
What's your emergency?
The adrenaline-charged show people can't get enough of. New 911, Monday on 7.
The Australian Government is supporting individuals and households during the coronavirus crisis. We've introduced the $550 coronavirus supplement, doubling income support for many. It means those on the job seeker payment could receive up to $1,100 a fortnight. We're also providing 2 $750 payments to veterans, pensioners and other households receiving income support. These automatic payments will support up to 5 million Australian households. To find out more, visit australia.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Home. It's not just a place we're stuck in. It's home-cooked meals, home workouts, homeschooling, working from home, home movie nights and movie days. It's see you when I get home. Your home means more than ever, and so does having the right home loan. To understand your options, go straight to Aussie. We'll help ensure you have the right loan for right now.
Head to Macca's right now if you're looking for a treat and get a creamy McFlurry for only $2 or a McValue Family Box for $24.95. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
If you're a small business, you've probably got a lot more questions than answers right now, which is why there's never been a more important time to speak to a professional accountant. They're specifically trained to help with business planning and cash flow management strategies tailored to support your business through these challenging times. They can even lend a hand with applications for government support to make sure you get the help your business needs. For further support and assistance, contact a professional accountant today.
Hi, Chris. As one of our Care Super members, let's go see your super at work. Hold on.
I'll show you some of the opportunities and possibilities that are being explored for you. Your super should work as hard as you do, so we're making sure it does.
Dad, we might need to pick up some more bread.
Dad,
I'll pick some up.
thanks.
Now, more than ever, we know what families are going through. So this week, you can pick up Australian Cavendish bananas for just $2 a kilo. Find these and more great specials in our online catalogue. We want you to always get your Woolies worth.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Truck. It's not the end of the world.
What the truck?
It's the brand new season.
Good truck and fun.
New Outback Truckers, Tuesday on Mate.
Tonight at 7, when and where the next restrictions will ease your COVID countdown, and a human guinea pig from a leading vaccine trial joins us. That's the latest from 7 News.
As Melbourne shivers, there's only one place to stay ahead of what's coming. There's more to weather on 7 News. More information.
And all those western suburbs, it feels like just 2 degrees.
Expert analysis. Everything you need to know. Nobody knows Melbourne's weather like 7 News.
Welcome back. AFL Chief Executive Gillon McLachlan has briefed all 18 club executives on plans to return. Tom Brown is across all of the details, and Tom, the AFL has had an extraordinary phone hookup with club captains.
Good evening, Jack. This is certainly unprecedented by memory in recent times. The club captains plus some senior players called a special telephone hookup with Gil McLachlan on Friday that included members of the Players Association. I can tell you tonight, went for about 40 minutes. Gil McLachlan obliged and really diffused some of the concerns, or alleviated some of the concerns over these hubs. It's highly unlikely now that players couldn't see their families for 21 weeks, and it's highly unlikely we'd even have hubs, let alone them being 21 weeks. This was Gil McLachlan speaking today.
We're back on the same page now. I've had conversations with the players, and we know, I think they're really clear now there are options, and we're working through with the states on that, and we'll know much more in a few days' time.
And Jack, just on training, so I've spoken to one club who's hopeful we could see limited training at the clubs on the 11th of May, which is Monday week. It'll be groups of 10, which is Category B under those AIS guidelines, Jackie.
Yeah, a very interesting few weeks ahead. Thank you very much, Tom. Melbourne Storm will confirm tomorrow where they'll base themselves for the coming weeks to prepare for the NRL's restart on May 28. It's expected they'll be forced to set up a temporary camp on the New South Wales border before they're allowed to train in Melbourne. The New Zealand Warriors will fly into the country tomorrow and be based in Tamworth for 14 days in quarantine. Australia's 2 cricket captains have spoken of the massive culture change in the squad. It's helped them claim the #1 ranking in Test and T20s, but both Tim Payne and Aaron Finch have unfinished business.
Tim Payne has climbed to the top in world sport. Now he's taken on an ambassador role with the Beacon Foundation to help young Australians in challenging times.
An opportunity for me to sort of give back to help, I suppose, Australian teenagers, tell them my story and try and inspire them to chase their dreams.
Speaking exclusively on Sunrise, the Aussie Test captain couldn't be prouder after ending India's 4.5-year reign at the top.
Obviously, we're really proud of it, very pumped with that news. As you said, a lot of people, not just myself and Justin, we've had a hell of a lot of people put a lot of work in over the last couple of years.
But there's no room for complacency, with India scheduled to tour Australia this summer and the Test Championship to be decided next year.
So we'd love to be at Lords at some stage playing in that final. That's the main goal for our team.
There's been a huge culture change in the Aussie camp, and it's clearly paying off, going to #1 in the world for the first time in 2020 cricket.
Players being really accountable to the standards and the culture is really important, and something that we've all worked really hard towards.
Aaron Finch has guided the Aussies to 9 wins in their last 10 T20s, hoping that carries into the World Cup if it goes ahead in October.
We're in a really good place, and it's obviously a trophy that's eluded us for a long time now, and that's the one that we don't have in our cabinet. So I think just that fire to get that trophy, I think we're in a really good space.
Tim Hipsley, 7 News.
It was a day to remember for young jockey Damien Thornton securing his first Group 1 win with a perfect ride in the Australasian Oaks.
They're charging wider out. Toffee Tongue's got them licked in the Oaks.
He guided the Chris Waller-trained Toffee Tongue to victory. In the other Group 1 favourite, Sunlight, was disappointing, finishing close to last in the Group 1 Tab Classic, but it was a fairy tale win for Bella Valor. The mare bought for just $20,000. And at Randwick, Hugh Bowman finished with 5 wins and a second. Olympic gold medalist Kate Campbell admits Paris 2024 is now on her radar after the Tokyo Games were called into question this week. And the Queenslander has gone to extraordinary lengths to keep swimming in isolation.
A neighbour with a pool. It's suburban Australia's version of winning lotto, especially if you're a world record holder with nowhere to swim.
I had to go and knock on a few doors and make a few friends. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm really sorry to do this to you, but I need a pool to swim in.
Enter the Posius family.
It's been an honour to have her come to our home, and we're just really grateful that we can give her that opportunity.
For me, that's really shown the community spirit of Australians, that if someone's in need, there's always someone who's willing to step up and help.
With NRL players given the green light to resume training, talks are underway to allow elite swimmers back into 50-metre pools, like they've done in South Australia.
It's a massive sense of relief, and I feel so grateful to be in such a great state that's allowed for us to do it.
I tie myself to a fence post and I swim in it for 45 minutes because just staring at a black line wasn't boring enough. I now don't even move from the single spot.
The Japanese Prime Minister might have doubled down this week. No vaccine, no games, but Kate's still dreaming of being a 4-time Olympian.
If there's no Olympics in 2021, I might have to extend that to Paris 2024.
Ben Davis, 7 News.
Oh, she's a star. And Mike Tyson showed he's still got it, even at 53 years of age. The legendary heavyweight boxer proving he can still pack a seriously mean punch. You definitely wouldn't want to be the one on the pads against Iron Mike. And even at 53, I think he's just as scary.
Yeah, no, I would not like to be that person, Jack. Thank you. Uncertainty during the global pandemic is making life stressful for many of us, but there are simple steps we can all take to help keep a level head, both at home and at work.
We've flattened the curve. Now Australia's collective stress levels are escalating.
It is really hard to be productive when you're feeling stressed. If you're unwell, you're feeling under pressure, we don't often do our best work because we're just trying to get through things.
Danielle was a corporate high flyer who crashed and burned before turning her hand to helping others cope better in the workplace.
And what she does is she looks for the early signs of stress in the way you talk and the way you behave.
She is a software Danielle called Indy, developed by her company Pioneer, installed on company computers to detect key words in communications that indicate increased anxiety.
Now's an opportunity, particularly post-lockdown, to calm our brain.
While a little stress can be motivating, too much can be crippling.
The key strategies are around making sure that you have enough sleep, that you eat sensible foods, that is not high fat, high sugar, highly processed, and make sure that you get enough exercise.
And rekindle friendships in person when the laws allow.
It also releases serotonin, which is the master molecule of mood. You'll wake up feeling less irritable, less grumpy, and less stressed.
Tristan Voyas, 7 News.
Melina is next with the forecast. And Mel, when will we be able to thaw out?
Well, Mel, Mike, I'm Mel, you're Mike. The cold and wet conditions continue tomorrow, but the sunshine returns on Monday. I'll have all the details next.
They're the dream family.
We live in our house with our 3 kids. Family's everything for us.
Missing one thing.
Being on one income, money's tight.
Their dream home.
Are you guys excited? Should we go and look at a new house?
Yeah. Until now.
All right, should we go in, guys?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh.
The family-sized whole house reveal.
I'm so overwhelmed.
Wait till you see what they're seeing.
You don't even recognise it, do you?
The ultimate family home.
I've never had this much storage ever.
Oh.
It's the best room I've ever seen in my life.
The heartwarming transformation.
You okay?
It's so beautiful.
That will complete this family.
What's wrong? I need to cry. Oh, I'm crying because Mummy's so happy.
Oh,
Wow.
Just wait till you see inside.
you guys love our new family home?
House Rules, only on 7. The Whole House Reveal, Sunday at 7.
If you have any general police inquiries, you need us. But you don't need the sirens.
So when you need the police but not the sirens, call 131 444 or for online reporting, go to police.vic.gov.au.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Upload's that way, OR's the other way. What do you want to do?
Upload.
Anytime you need me, I'll be here for you.
In-app purchase required.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
You think I wanted to fall into the Grand Canyon?
I saw that video. You dabbed on the way down.
That's how you hit the lights.
Their doors might be closing, but they're always open on eBay. Stay home, shop online, and help support 40,000 Aussie retailers.
Being stuck at home doesn't have to mean being stuck for things to do. Because if you take a look around, there's inspiration everywhere. All you need to do is repurpose, reuse, recycle, and reacquaint yourself with the simple pleasure of play. Ryobi 1 Plus. 1 plus U equals endless possibilities. Available at bunnings.com.au.
At Chemist Warehouse, we'll always have the biggest brands at the lowest prices. So to make it more convenient for you, try our new same-day home delivery service. Simply order online through Click and Collect, call your local store to ask for home delivery, and our team will have your order delivered that day. Get your favourite big brands at the lowest prices from Chemist Warehouse with contact-free home delivery from our house to yours.
Everyone is wondering, what will our world be like after COVID? Shopping, movies, dining out. We investigate how everyday life will be changing. The survival guide for job seeker and job keeper, where job opportunities are popping up. Plus, the affordable innovations making working from home easier. And as the new day breaks, the breaking news.
Live to our team of reporters now.
The critical announcements are on Sunrise.
Tonight at 7, pubs and gyms told to prepare to reopen your post-COVID calendar, and the pandemic property market. We take you to a virtual auction. That's the latest from 7 News.
This weather report brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Contact-free home delivery now available. Shop online or in-store today.
Hello again. The miserable conditions continued this weekend, but we will have some nicer weather at the start of the week. The city dipped to 9.5 degrees early this morning and didn't rise above 14 all day. Outside now in the city, it's 11 degrees, but it feels more like 8. The city had a little over 1 millimetre in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. and around half a mil since then. And we do have a few showers around this evening. Taking a look around Victoria today, it's no surprise our temperatures were below the May average statewide. It was 14 in Bendigo, 10 in Ballarat, 12 degrees at Traralgon. Winds reached gale force along the east coast and showers continued across our southern and mountain areas. Most areas had below 5 millimetres, but they were more widespread over in the east, and that's where we saw the higher rainfall totals. 20 millimetres has fallen at Mount Borbor since 9 a.m, 11 millimetres at Warragul. The wintry blast has brought some heavy snowfalls to our ski resorts. This is Mount Buller, which is covered in white and now has received more than 50 centimetres, and more than 60 centimetres has fallen at Mount Hotham over the past 2 days. Both mountains dipped to -4 degrees this morning. The resorts are yet to make a decision about the 2020 ski season, which opens on Queen's Birthday weekend. Taking a look at the satellite now, there is a strong low pressure system which will continue to move eastwards tonight as a large high pressure system moves over the Bight. The high will extend a ridge over Victoria later on Sunday before slowly moving across Victoria on Monday and Tuesday. So that translates into another cool and soggy day tomorrow with isolated showers over southern and mountain areas. That'll be drizzle across Melbourne. That drizzle hangs around the south of the state on Monday, but it will be partly cloudy across the north, and by Tuesday we finally start to thaw out a little bit. We see a return to nicer weather with a mostly sunny day. Around the nation for tomorrow, sunny and 25 degrees in Brisbane, mostly sunny, 20 in Sydney. Adelaide is cloudy and 17 degrees, and Perth is mostly sunny, 29. But in Victoria, it'll be dry and partly cloudy over the northern plains. But across the south and our mountain areas, we will see some isolated showers again, and it's staying cool as well. 15 in Bendigo, 12 in Ballarat, 15 at Traralgon. Closer in, showers are likely again tomorrow, especially over the Dandenongs in the east. It'll be cloudy and cool with temperatures mostly in the mid-teens. The city starts on 10 and should reach 15 degrees. There could be some drizzle about as well. It'll be similar on Monday with a light shower or two, 15. We thaw out on Tuesday, 18 with plenty of sunshine. Mostly sunny and 19 on Wednesday. Partly cloudy up to 21 on Thursday. Friday partly cloudy as well, 19. And a shower or two next Saturday, heading for a top of 20. But cool and drizzly in the city tomorrow, a top of 15 degrees. Mike.
Thanks, Mel. And that's 7 News for now from the 7 News team. Have a great night.